It's dinner time. I should have brought my actual video camera so I could use a tripod or something. There we go. Again, looking at what I'm doing. Not recording. I got a big knife, so I'll just do it like this for a minute. What I'm doing here, this is my worm food. Food for the worms. I got some fruit. In the bottom there's coffee grounds. Right here I got manure and the bedding from my baby chicks. Here's my 2 worms. Getting ready to feed the one on the left here. Here's the leachate that I collect from the guys. Ready to feed this guy here, so I'll take... should turn this on so you guys can see. There's where some of the food was. There's not much left, but you see how they kind of attack. So I'm going to open up this corner. Take some of this. The stuff that's not chopped up good yet, I'm just going to set right there. Put some of this in there. Fill it about that much. Cover that corner. There's a little bit left there, that's why I didn't go ham on it. They still got some to finish. You don't want to overfeed them. You'll start having a bunch of other stuff happening. There's a ton of baby worms right now hatching. If you look, the little white one you saw go in the dirt there, there's one moving there. Those guys are baby worms. Sometimes there's other white worms that aren't baby leaf worms that you'll get if you have too much of, I noticed it with starchy stuff, or you have, like I said, like juices that you let ferment a little and turn kind of to alcohol. Anaerobic, I think it's called. Put some more right here. Drop a piece. I threw some rice in with it, even though I poured it right out of the box into it, because it's a good host for microbes, the kind that I like to harvest from the leachate. Been doing this a couple years now. It was a learning process. I started out with just one, and at first I'd overfeed them and they'd be jumping out of the thing. I'd go in my basement where it used to be and there'd be worms all over the floor. But I started out with just a half pound of worms that I ordered in one of these setups, and that just kept growing and growing. I'd had so many worms. And when I harvest it, I only leave one layer, so I keep all the worms, as many as I can at least. I chase them all into another one using light, and freaking after harvesting a couple times, I had so many worms I was able to, start another one with all the extras I had, which has been awesome. I could actually, by now I could start another one with all the worms I get, but I don't want, well, I probably will now that I have the demand for the castings, and I'm going to throw a little bit of those coffee grounds on there, cover that up nicely. Cover them up. Newspaper. The newspaper's a little bit dried out, so I'm going to take... I left the lid off it overnight Make sure there's plenty of good stuff in here. Make sure that food breaks down good and fast for the worms. Re-wet this newspaper. The newspaper helps to keep, because if there's light, they'll run from the surface or hide down deeper, so it's a good way to keep them on the surface to eat. And I noticed that if you keep a good layer of newspaper in there all the time, that's where they like to lay their eggs. And if you want them to reproduce, so you have more and more worms and your food's eating faster and you get leachate faster and worm castings faster, then you wanna keep some newspaper on top and keep everything balanced. Put a lot of plant matter in this one. Literally probably 2 pounds or at least 1.5 pounds. And it's almost gone now. I can see little bits of... Man, that soil's just alive. If you look, just stuff moving everywhere. Yeah, I make mine a little deeper. I put these spacers in. I don't have any handy right now, but I put a spacer in. You can see it right there, so that this sits on top of the spacer there. So it fills up with a lot more castings, because the way they have them set up, the weight of the top one would sit right on them and it mashes them down. And they only intend on you building up like 1 inch worth. Well, I put like way more than that. Look at all those